So with that, I think we can begin. Hello, people of the internet. It is I, Soulrack Dragon here, back with more Fate Grand Order, where we are going to be finishing off Ordeal Call 1, Paper Moon. I can't remember the full name of it. My brain is not working right now, but yeah, we're gonna finish Ordeal Call 1 today. Durga is now available on Pickup Summon. And that's kind of the only real big news. I guess Advanced Quests, Part 16 is dropped, but I don't really cover those here because they're kind of just farming quests. Zero Compass Inner Domain, that's what it was called. I knew the name somewhere in the back of my brain space. I just couldn't put my finger done on it. But yeah, Durga is available on the summoning banners here. I think everybody is still up. So we have Durga, we have Kama, and we have Bhima. All until sort of a little bit later. Hey, Sulphonic, welcome to the stream. Howdy thinks. Am I going to be rolling for Durga? So, that is something I did heavily consider. Based on everything that has happened in the Ordeal Call 1, the answer is no. She did not get good enough characterization for me to justify trying to roll for her. Bhima, however, did get justification enough, but I need to be very stingy with my Saint Quartz right now because Saber Medusa is going to be dropping within a month's time, and shortly after Saber Medusa is going to be Anniversary, and then it's going to be Summer, all of which I plan on going on pretty hard, so, I kind of need to be a little bit on the conservative side as far as my quartz goes. How much I'm going to spend here on Bhima, it's anybody's guess. I do have 424. I might do a single 11 spin and 10 tickets. I don't know. I haven't yet decided, but that is all for the future me to decide. Right now, though, we are going to pick up for the YouTube people on the final bit of Ordeal Call 1. Because this is coming out section by section, so it's finally time for section 17. It's only been a day for YouTube, but it's been 3 days for me, because it was Friday's stream that was the last one. Yeah. Don't know why, but Streamlabs started to act up at the end of everything there. Maybe it's because I was going for 5 hours streaming? Who knows? But, yeah, 3 arrows for the epilogue of Ordeal Call 1. I think I've done enough, sort of... Oh, I haven't done enough, because I still have to say to YouTube, be sure to subscribe to my channel, because, yeah, there's going to be plenty of content coming out. There will be a bit of a backlog of probably Night Rain by the end of this. I might start posting UBW as well. I'm kind of through most of my backlog, actually. It's mainly UBW that has the backlog right now, but still, you can subscribe to catch it. And for any future story bits, you can always subscribe as well, because, you know... yeah. Subscribe or else YouTube. Have fun. Yes, exactly, have fun. But yeah, you just subscribe, it shows some support, and it's awesome. You are awesome if you subscribe, and you're awesome even if you don't subscribe, because I'm not one of those that says, you know, subscribe to me, otherwise I will own your soul forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I'm not like that. I say, you know, subscribe to me if you want to subscribe, and if you want to show some support to me. But, that's enough rambling here. I think we should start here with the epilogue of Section 17 of Ordeal Call 1. So, we finished the Paper Moon Holy Grail War. Seragera was the winner alongside Bhima, although Bhima did sort of fade away as well. And we stepped out with Sion. Sion has declared that she will be our friend. And, yeah. That's kind of the gist of it. Fair enough, Sulphonic. Fair enough. Sorry for the brief spoiler I might have dropped for you there, then. I do apologize for the very brief spoiler. Yes, have a great day, Sulphonic. Thanks for stopping by. Alright. MASH. It's been a while, MASH. Feels like it's been ages. Senpai, how are you feeling, Senpai? Morning, MASH. You look like you always do. Whew, what a relief. Da Vinci! Yep, vitals are all looking good. Not that there was ever a problem with them. More like you fell into a strange coma, but not one like your usual REM state. then you woke up just as suddenly. It's a real head-scratcher, all right. And then there's Sion. Same thing happened to her, right down to waking up at the same moment. So how long were we... I'm trying to think. How long were we inside of the Paper Moon? I want to say at least one day-night cycle passed. At least one. Because we did rest one night. But did we ever rest a second night? Or was it sort of just the centrifuge spinning that knocked us out for an indeterminate amount of time? I think it's mainly the centrifuge. After the first night's sleep, it was the centrifuge that sort of was the passage of time. Yes, that certainly was strange, but now that we've both woken up and are in perfectly good health, I would say we've nothing to be concerned about. Do you not agree? I mean, sure, that's the most important thing, but did this actually happen for no real reason? Like, did you two get hit with a localized sleeping gas, an electromagnetic pulse to your brains, some unknown form of man trap? Well, you see, we were drawn into the Paper Moon, where we took part in a Holy Grail war. We totally won that Holy Grail war, by the way. We totally won the Holy Grail war. And then we escaped. It was also something to do with alter egos, so, yeah. I can't help but think there must be a reason behind this. Alright, I just recalled the problem we were working on prior to Soul and I falling asleep. How is the Paper Moon doing now? Oh, that? For some reason, it started working again right around the time you woke up. Oh, yeah, because we fixed it. It's working like always now, though we're still checking to make sure. I wonder what happened with it. We'll need to keep digging to see what we can find out. Well, we can tell you what happened with it. I see. I'm glad to hear it's back to its old self. The Paper Moon. Yes. Fields. Cities. Ronnie. You look troubled, Senpai. Is something wrong? I suspect you had a dream while you slept, yes? Do you recall what it's about? Very vividly. They are going with the amnesia. They are going... You've got to be... They're seriously... Why? This is an ordeal call. This is supposed to be proving that we understand these extra class servants. So you think memory comes with understanding. So why the heck are we being given the amnesia line? Like, that... Oh. I hate amnesia plot points. I hate them so much. I mean, they even try and pull it off with the Seraph event, but no, we remember Seraph. It would not make sense for us to not remember the Seraph event. Seraph is a very important thing. This is just as important. Why are they doing an amnesia plot line? It makes no frickin' sense. Between this and their half-assed explanations of alter egos, I don't know, man. I'm very much questioning whoever wrote this. Oh. Do you think I was dreaming, but I can't remember, apparently. Surprise. Sorry to interrupt, but can I ask you something? Our Foundation of Humanity grade just jumped from E to D not too long ago. Do you two have any idea why that might be? This is so nonsensical. So freaking nonsensical. Why? Did no idea. Any ideas, Sion? No comment from me either. After all, it was not something I experienced. So let's just chalk it up to both me and Soul growing without realizing it. The important thing is that one of our problems is solved. Can we not just be happy about that? No, Sion, we cannot. No, Sion, no. We cannot be happy about this. Because, again, I hate amnesia plot points. They are so nonsensical. Hi, Janice. Welcome to the stream. How be things? How be things? How be things? I'm just getting very frustrated. Hey, J6 is here too. Welcome, J6. Welcome to the stream. How be things? I'm just very frustrated about the frickin' amnesia plot point. Very frustrated about it. That's weird. It's not like Sion to be so vague. More importantly, I think you should keep examining Master Soul. Seems he pushed his brain harder than usual this time, so that he deserves a thorough checkup. Sion, you cannot play off that nothing happened. You know something happened, Sion. You freaking know. Again, between this and the half-assed explanation for alter egos, if this is supposed to be really important to us understanding the extra classes to increase our value with humanity, why can we not remember? It's nonsensical. You took part in Friend Safari, managed to get shiny Ninetales, Spiritomb, Pancham, and Ivysaur. Nice. I did see you beat Placidusax, though, J6. I did see you beat him. 5 attempts, I think? Yeah, I saw it. Congrats, that was much faster than I. Far faster than I, even. But, yeah. I gotta stop getting so hung up over this amnesia plot point. Maybe it'll be revised eventually. Yeah, Malekith's no easy piece of cake, but you beat down Melania, the Blade of Vigila, who never knew defeat, so you can take down Malekith. Oh yeah, good point. Okay, one last round of medical exams, then we'll call it a day. We can still call you in follow-ups, but for now, the best thing you can both do is rest up in your own rooms. Not you though, Mesh. I want you to stay here and rest while I can keep an eye on you until you're properly recovered. You haven't gotten a wink of sleep since Soul lost consciousness. You've been at his bedside the whole time, so I'm ordering you to get some rest right here, right now. Excuse me. Ooh. I mean, if you got him down to 1%, J6, that shows that you can do this. By the way, you got Night Rain for PC, correct? No. Just got something in the back of my throat, is all. So, apparently it is going to be released on Steam at 6:30 p.m. on the 29th. So, if you want to do a co-op play, that's going to be when I'm going live. I got the feeling you're about to have an unusual visitor. I'd like to see what happens next, but my room is off that way, so I'll just wish you good night. Sion, you could come back to my room, Sion. No. I mean, if you go to Steam, it will show that release date is on the 29th, and, Night Rain global release times. I don't remember who put it out, but I think the official Bandai Namco put out, a map or something of what time it is releasing all across the world. Yes. Open image, a new tab. Copy. Paste. And that is the resource. Okay, so who am I going to encounter? Kama? Because I would love to encounter Kama. I swear, if Kama doesn't tell me what happened, then I'm going to be annoyed. I'm going to get a drink real quick. because I still feel that thing in the back of my throat. Because the 30th is for consoles, apparently. Hey, can I talk to you for a second? Sure thing, comma. Hi, Squeefly. Thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. So... Sorry, Squeefly. I'm kind of just, in a bit of a stunned state here. Sarajera is a Chaldean employee. I'm doing well, Squeefly. I'm doing well. Just, a little bit annoyed at the amnesia plotline they're trying to throw at us in this, and, now a little stunned by the fact that Sarajera is here. Or I guess Aileron? I guess is her name? Aileron? I kind of like Sarajera better, to be honest. It sounds more unique, maybe? Hi, Aileron. Yeah, you know who I am, right? I mean, there's like 10 survivors from Chaldea being slaughtered and then frozen over, so it'd be... And I think we canonically spent a couple months on the Shadow Border, so... Yeah, knowledge of who you are is not terribly surprising. Oh, it is Sarajera Aileron. Yes. Full name. I work in the records department. How isolated are we? Again, the Shadow Border is not that big of a thing. We spent at least a couple of months on the Shadow Border with what remained of Chaldea's staff. How is this the first time we're having a proper conversation? It's nonsensical. This is just unexpected, to say the least. I mean, I'm not gonna lie here. If Sarajera was an option to talk to, I would probably be talking with Sarajera more than Munier. Just saying. I'm curious about her for some reason. Oh, okay. She's the alter ego, the involved type, I suppose you could say. She just happened to be nearby during the first rotation, so she was probably at least physically close to you. However, her alter ego is just a copy of the original's personality model, so she has no direct connection to her counterpart in the outside world. No, I'm actually pretty good on as far as an art standby goes, Squeefly. I thank you for the offer, but, I am trying to make my own emotes for the remainder of my emote slots. I have them conceptually done, I'm just trying to refine them right now, but thank you for the offer. And I take care of all my own thumbnails, for when I put the effort in, at least. But again, thank you for the offer. Your minds were drawn in here by direct if accidental intervention, which probably rendered your bodies comatose. But really, Sarajera is going on about her normal life completely unaware she's been copied. Hang on. Minds are drawn in here by direct, if accidental, intervention, which probably rendered your bodies comatose. So, we get knocked out and drawn in there, but she doesn't. Wow, double standards. Really. I mean, if they're going to give us the amnesia plotline, then why not just have it have been a copy of us that experienced all this and we had no idea what was going on? Seriously, if they were going to do the amnesia plotline, they could have literally had us playing an alter ego of ourselves this whole frickin' time. She had a copy, we and us and Sion got drawn in. Okay, but again, I'm getting too hung up on the amnesia story, on the amnesia point, I feel. I feel like I'm getting way too hung up over amnesia more than anything else. But I've got a point, right? If they were gonna give us amnesia, we did not actually need to personally experience it, so we could have shadowy memories of this. Any feedback she does experience is likely to be no more than a slight subconscious tingle of sorts. The reason there's such a difference between you two and her is that, well, she was already in a state of mind that made her very easy to copy. Whereas the two of you fell in here entirely by accident. Excuse me. That's why she became an official master AI and you didn't. I can only guess, but I believe she may have already been slightly mentally unstable, such that it would be easy for a fragment of her personality to be... Okay. Are you saying, Ronnie the 12th, that the Master of Chaldea, who has trauma from committing genocide 5 frickin' times, has no mental trauma and is completely and totally mentally sound? Because I don't think anybody is truly mentally sound, to be completely honest. And with the sheer guilt complex we probably have, I do not think we are mentally sound, Ronnie. Then again, Ronnie, for an AI, Ronnie is not the best or brightest. I'm sorry to say. I love AIs, I do, but Ronnie the 12th, you know, she's not one of the better ones. She's one of the worst AIs. She has a lot of bad opinions, a lot of bad experiments, terrible opinion on alter egos. So, I'm gonna just leave it at that. She was likely experiencing the kind of instability which would make her dislike who she is and look for a chance at becoming someone else. Got shiny Heatmore from Dynamax Adventures, second phase from hunting shiny Cresselia. Nice. You'll get shiny Cresselia eventually, J6, I believe. Hey. Hang on, what was the last thing she said? I got a bit off on I went off tangent on a rant. I'm Sarah Jira, I work in the records department. Yeah, saying yes randomly just is like random. So I think you want to talk is the better dialogue choice here. That doesn't make us sound like a airhead. Don't just say what I want before I get a chance. Did you use a mind-reading spell on me? Well, whatever. I usually leave the personal relationship stuff to Meunier and the others, so we've never really talked much before. You know, Cerejera, that could all change. That could all change. But there are some things I want to talk to you about now. Would you come with me? It won't take long. Sure. Okay, so we gotta put the protagonist level charisma on now. You know, I didn't say it in Ordeal Call 1, but she had a very interesting and unique design. I liked her design. And now that I mean, her personality, you know, she's definitely got a very defeatist personality, but what we saw was just a fragment of her, and who isn't very self-deprecating and has some forms of guilt. Who isn't, you know? So, you know, we'll see how the real Cerejera is. You know, just for the matter that she is an actual person we can interact with. Potentially. So, what I'm trying to say is, because she's an actual Chaldea staff member that we can interact with, and we have a sprite for, and is alive, that means that come next year, she is going to be on the waifu rankings. So, yeah, this is her time to, you know, cement her current placement, and then eventually, you know, as we encounter her more, her placement could go up. You know, unless it's revealed that she's in a relationship or something, which, you know, that's kind of why I was holding off on saying anything with regards to her and Bima, because it was like, oh, maybe she's, like, part of Bima's history or something like that, because, I mean, I don't go for those who are in relationships. Pretty sure the bunch of self-care who aren't self-deprecating someone who don't feel guilty about jack shit. Well, probably, but you know... Semantics, J6, semantics. So what's this all about? Well, there's something I've been meaning to apologize for. I just suddenly had the feeling now would be a good time to talk to you. So she is also aware of everything that happened. Or she's tangentially aware of what happened in the Paper Moon, then. Okay, here goes. Remember back when... December 27th, 2019. Oh god, that's a long time ago. That's so long. Have we It's just saying, have we really been in the Lost Belt saga for that freaking long? Because, I mean, the Epic of Remnant was compressed into 1 year's time. So, hang on. I gotta do some math here. So, Epic of Remnant was in 1 year's time. So, Solomon happened in 2018. So, I've been streaming FGO for... I'm approaching my 7-year anniversary for streaming FGO. I'm gonna actually look up. When did... So, give me this, and when exactly did the Babylonia stuff release? Because, as I said, I started streaming pretty much, like, right before Babylonia dropped. So, it was, what, September, maybe? Or was it sooner than September? Camelot dropped in June. When did Babylonia drop? Was it It was December. Okay, so Babylonia dropped December of 2018. And I started streaming, like, just before that dropped. Because I started with Camelot and finished Camelot as Babylonia dropped. So did I seriously not stream the Janta event? Yeah, no, I had to have streamed Janta, right? There's no way I missed streaming Janta. I need to check now. Did I not stream the Janta event? Am I a phony with praising Long Janta? Is my whole identity a lie? No, Janta was, like, just before Babylonia. The Janta event ended when Babylonia dropped. Playlists. Fate Grand Order. Yes, the original Janta event. Not the rerun. No, come on. Show me the content of my Fate Grand Order playlist that is 377 episodes long. Yes. Okay. Okay, it looks... I did stream the Janta event. I did not publish... Okay, Janta was streamed because Let's Play Fate Grand Order Friday Christmas Farming is the very first of the Fate Grand Order playlist videos. So, Janta is there. I guess I must have made... Did I make a separate playlist for, Did I make a separate playlist for... Okay, I do have separate playlists for Camelot and Babylonia. Both of which are only 7 episodes long because this was before I separated them out. on to individual sections. And actually, just looking at this, it does look like it is around the time of Anastasia where I started to put them out section by section. Alright. Started FGO during the rerun of the first Christmas, which was November, I think. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you know, gotta praise the long Janta. Janta is the great equalizer. Long may she reign. So if there's a Janta tangent, the Janta tangent must be taken. Anyways, back to pre-COVID times, December 27th, 2019. The blizzard is come and gone. Now all that remains is clear blue sky. Before long, the pale blue is marked by a single black dot of an approaching helicopter. The helicopter brings important passengers and the harsh reality that the end is close at hand. Oh man, they're almost here. What are you so upset about? Are you really gonna be sad to say goodbye to this job? Of course not. Sure, I've got other things to do. Okay, who is she talking to? But I knew when I took this job that being the gatekeeper for a secret Antarctic base would be boring as hell. I swear, who do they think is gonna come visit us? The local penguins? Leviathans? Gosh, random Chaldea staff member who Seragera is talking to. They are Leviathans. Still, boring as the job is, it's a big deal knowing today's my last day. They're retroactively always been Leviathans. Retroactively, they have always been Leviathans. Also, dude, you know, whoever this random staff member is, did they seriously call this boring? We literally just stopped the incineration of humanity. You are lucky to be alive, person. Whoever's talking here is lucky to be alive. They survived the incineration of humanity. Well, to be fair, it could have gotten dicey for them if, in the Solomon Singularity, Solomon decided to attack Chaldea directly. This guy, you know, he would have been on the front lines. So, he's very lucky we were here. He probably had like a front row seat. Because, I mean, he had to have kept the gates open so that way we could get back inside. So yeah, he probably got to witness the Solomon Singularity firsthand. How can you call that boring, dude? Tisk tisk. Plus, all the servants that are running around as well. Like, Chaldea is not a dull place. Is that how it works? Anyway, why are you here to help out in the first and last big moment at this job? Wait, does this mean you want to spend as much time as possible before we say goodbye, Seragera? Don't be ridiculous, I'm just following orders. This might well be the first time anything noteworthy happened at this gate, so they want a record keeper here for posterity. Also, how many times do I have to tell you not to call me by my first name? I can't help it, it's just such a great name. I wonder how many times I've used it anyway. Whoever this random Chaldean staff member is correct, Seragera is a great name. I will admit that. Maybe referring to the time 1 year period between the epics of Remnant. Are that here, or you got hired during Epic of Remnant? Good points, good points, good points. So, hey, I know it's a long shot, but there's something I've been wanting to say. Oh. We've been working together for a pretty long time now, and we'll be getting out of here and going our separate ways soon, so this guy's trying to put the riz on Seragera here. Also, just saying, that squeefly that dropped by and dropped the follow, they are no longer following me. And they're no longer in chat either. So I think they came by and dropped a follow just to try and get me to commission them for something. We did resume long before Epic of Remnant happened, true. Yes. It happens quite often. Not as often as the Twitch viewbot farmers, but it does happen. I was wondering if you'd like to grab a bite to eat with me sometime? I'm serious. 312. Huh? That's how many times you've called me by my first name without my permission. I kept track. Yeah, the buddy line, you know, it made me wonder if it was somebody I knew in real life, but the second they dropped the whole, do you need art line, I was kind of like, oh yeah, no. Oh, wow, that's impressive. I guess there's a reason why you went into record keeping. Okay, so whoever this was has something with Cerejera. Sadness. That's not the point. My point is, do you really just want to grab one bite with me? You've been trying to get to know me for a while, pretty unsubtly, too, as many times as you've used my first name. Do you really want to ask me out just this one time? Don't be ridiculous. Of course I was going to ask you out a bunch of times. As long as you say yes, I'll keep inviting you. So does this mean you're saying yes? It does, right? Oh man, this is great. I'm so glad I finally worked up the courage to ask. Hey, come on, stop pumping your fist and get back to work. Look, they're outside the gate right now. Darn it. This must be our new director, Gordolf Music, and... Who's the pink-haired lady? His secretary? Koyan. Probably, yeah. Kotomine! There's people from the UN Inspection Committee here, too. They're not just a bunch of randos. Hey, where's the mic on this thing? Is this it? We're here. Someone open this gate, damn it. Yeah, alright. I gotta do the whole check-in protocol thing for maybe the first time ever. Would you hit the button to let them in once the light turns green, Cerejera? Also, what would you like to eat? Got it. I'm good with anything, but Portuguese food would be nice to have again. I haven't been back home in ages. Ah, yes. Gordy's armed takeover. Can't forget that. You know, how did they... Wait, no, that's right. They weren't actually people. They were Oprenchki. Oprenchk. I can never pronounce their name properly. So, there you have it. I was the one who opened the gate and let them in. As I look back on it, that was our last chance to stop all this from happening. I keep dreaming about how things would be different if I just realized something was off back then. Yeah, I'm gonna say it is definitely not your fault. That is no reason to feel guilty. Knowing what we know now, had she denied them entry, she'd probably be dead. You can bet that back then Koyan was petty enough that she would have hunted Cerejera down during the slaughter of Chaldea for the crime of making her stay outside for longer. There's no way you could have known. I know. We were all writing up documents, getting ready for court hearings, and Director Music's takeover was completely legal. Even if other people don't think there's a reason for guilty, someone could actually feel guilty. Anyone would feel guilty if they let their so-called killers in the building. Fair points. Fair points, you know. I mean, she's been clearly holding on to this trauma for almost 6 years at this point. So, you know, at least she's talking about it. Hell, he was tricked just like the rest of us, for that matter. So I know we're basically destined to end up here. But even so, I can't help but think about what would have happened if I hadn't hit that button. The fact is, I pushed us across that final line between this happening and not happening. And I just can't get that out of my head. Maybe I could have noticed something was off with Koyan Sky and told them the gate was acting up or something. 6 years real, 1 to 2 years in-game time. No. So, going based off of Christmas events, I mean, one could argue summer events could be condensed into a shorter time frame with sequential summer events depending on the ones, but Christmas events only come around so often. So it was Attila the Santa led into Samba Santa, into Santa Carna, into Santa Martha. So at least 3 Christmases have passed so far. So I'll give them a 3 years for now. Wait, yeah, I'll give them 3 years maybe having passed rather than 6. Maybe. Like I said, some summer events can possibly have occurred during the same time period. So, but Christmas is consistent. I would count Valentine's as well, but, then we're just getting straight up. Yeah, it's been 6 years. That would make Fujimaru like 19 if he entered Chaldea at 16. I mean, by technical fact of point, they did experience 2 Christmases at Chaldea. So, point of matter is, we are presumably in our 20s at this point. Canonically, in our 20s at this point. Maybe I could have then talked to one of the higher-ups, and things would have turned out differently. Maybe if things had gone differently, he would have made it onto the border, too. Okay. So that's where more of the guilt is coming from. The fact that she let somebody she had feelings with. Okay. Now I'm getting a bit more of the guilt. Now, so it's not just like a guilt for getting all her coworkers killed and, indirectly causing the end of the world again, which she didn't. But it's guilt for indirectly resulting in somebody she had interest with passing away. Almost. Close enough. That's gonna make it difficult. She wasn't technically in a relationship with him, but she still holds on to some lingering guilt and feelings. I mean, she was blushing at the whole, asking out thing, so, They weren't official, though. And you do need to move on eventually, so, I'm gonna say this does not disqualify her from the waifu rankings. This bit does not disqualify her from being ranked as a waifu. And I wouldn't have broken my promise to have dinner with him. There's so many possibilities all swirling around in my head, I just can't forget what happened. Okay, now is where I can speak with some measure of, personal experience here. You cannot let all the what-ifs swirl around in your head, making a mess of you. Like, even for little things, you cannot let the what-ifs haunt you at all. Serious message. Because, I mean, it was before FGO, but way back when, I'm pretty sure I've told some of this story before, where I was really good friends with this girl, and, I did have feelings for her. She was in a relationship with someone else, and, that's fine. We were both... I was above 21, she was below 21, and she had told me the night before that she was going to go out with her boyfriend to a party and stuff, and, I had work that night, so I just told her to be safe and everything. And then at, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, she calls me crying. She's drunk, her boyfriend left her alone, and she did not know where the heck she was. She said that I kept her calm, my voice kept her calm, so I stayed on the phone with her, and I asked where she was, and because I was keeping on the phone with her, my dad did drive me to go and pick her up, and we picked her up in, 3 o'clock in the morning. and we offered to take her to the hospital because she was clearly intoxicated. She was below 21, so, that would have carried some risks, but she didn't want that. So instead, brought her back to my house, helped her sleep it off, and then, she slept it off. Next day comes around, and she ends up getting picked up by the same boyfriend that, kind of left her at that house. And then, after that, there was a good week's time of no contact. I tried getting a hold of her, and nothing. And I was just wondering what the fuck I did to mess things up. And, it just turns out that I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, I didn't do anything wrong, really. Except, I guess, I didn't help her realize that the boyfriend wasn't good for her. And, kind of after that, our friendship just started to slowly fall apart. And, I lost sleep for a good 3 days wondering what the fuck I did wrong. And you can't do that. I know it's difficult to not dwell on these kinds of things, but you can't dwell on them, because they will mess you up and they will eat away at you, and it's just not healthy. It's hard to get over these kinds of things, but find something that'll make you laugh. Find something that will help you forget. Find something that will help you move on. And eventually, the pain will still be there. You still might ask what ifs, and maybe one day you'll get an answer. Maybe that answer will be, I just don't have room in my life to be friends with you anymore. And maybe you'll never get the answer, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So yeah, just don't dwell on... I know it's hard. Don't dwell on the dark stuff. Just focus on things that make you feel better. And, yeah. I think that's enough serious talk for now. It's not the first time I've told this story, but I think I went a little bit more in depth with the explanation than normal. But, anyways, let's continue things, shall we? I mean, I'm a record keeper. I write journals for fun, and my family's lineage of memory magecraft never lets me forget anything. That's why I can't get rid of this guilt. All the time, I've got this giant ball of guilt, making me wonder how things could have gone differently if I'd just been a little more careful. I've talked about this in therapy. Maybe everyone else here already knew how guilty I feel. Hell, maybe even you noticed at some point. Again, I will not forgive the writers for not Why don't we have more of all of the other staff? Because again, there's like 10 surviving members of a staff. You know what? I'm gonna actually look this up. How many members are there in Novum Chaldea? There's gotta be like a list of who is in Novum Chaldea. Because I want to know. So, known members. Yes, the staff definitely needs to be implemented more. So we have Gordolf Music, MASH, us, Munier, somebody named Sylvia, Kawada Octavia, Tomarin Shin Kayan, Serejera Marcus, Harry Akanazawa Anderson, and Sion. So yeah, there is like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is exactly 10 random staff members of Chaldea. And we only have met 2 of them. Like, Sylvia, control room staff, Kawada, second operator, Octavia, Da Vinci's assistant, Tomarin, operator, Chin, vehicle maintenance, Cayenne, weapon design and maintenance. We have weapons department? Why do we not have weapons? Yes, I know we have mystic codes that can fire off magic, but why do we not have weapons? Marcus, Spiriton engineer maintenance. Harry Akenazawa Anderson is a scout. We have a scout? Why are we being sent in as the first line into some of these lost builds if we have a frickin' scout? Yes, there is an SMG. Now, that was one of Koyan's weapons, though. That was Okay, hang on. I decided to just click on, because he's got the most random, he has the fullest name of Harry Akenazawa Anderson. I was wondering if maybe, he will appear. No. Here's the bio. Harry was 32-year-old scout for Chaldea's race-shifting candidate meeting, assigned to Japan because of his hobby visiting temples in Kyoto. He was left disappointed because he thought there was a pretty much a 0% of anyone matching be found. The testing was designed as blood donation service. What he was not expecting when he came upon Ritsuka Fujimaru while working near a train station was Ritsuka being a 100% match. He followed them home to scout them. Due to scouting, he received a bonus and bought a new car. So this Harry guy is why we are freaking in Chaldea in the first place. Why don't we know what he looks like? Like, this dude's the reason we're here. And they haven't even given him a friggin' sprite? Good gracious. But right now, for some reason, I've got the urge to tell you myself. I wanted to apologize to your face. So please, let me say this. I know it's selfish of me, but I just have to get these words out. I'm sorry. You have nothing to apologize for. And that guilt you're carrying around, we all share it too. Very true statements. I said most of these words, except for we all share it too, I said we all have similar feelings. That's right, we all feel guilty. And as for how we can put this behind us, forget about it. Whether we should forget about it. Whether we can ever make amends. Well, I don't think anyone knows the answers to those questions yet. Wow, hang on. That was legitimate protagonist talking to somebody without us picking a choice. We are getting the character development as well. The first dialogue is more trying to riz her, so let's go find these answers together, said Ejera. Okay. Now we put a hand on her shoulder, gently, call her by her first name, and start the cycle anew. That's right. A strange person I feel like I met in a dream. Letting the guilt overwhelm me isn't going to do any good. So even if I can't forget it, I can still use it for fuel to fuel me, and let it drive me to do what I can, how I want. And I'm going to trust that one day, that'll be enough to finally make amends. And you know, Serajera, we can go and get dinner. Yeah, we can get dinner. You know? Is that too soon? It might be a bit soon. And it's been like 3 years at minimum, 6 years at maximum. I don't think it's too soon. I don't think it's too soon. Kidding, though. But, we can help her get over it. She has not been disqualified from the waifu rankings. That's all I'll say. I look forward to seeing her future development. I need some water. Really? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Can they be any more on the frickin' nose? Lonely, anxious. Come on! How so? Go on, tell me, what'd you forget? What's got you feeling lonely? I think it just went away, because we want to see Kama. Really now? What's that all about? They said you were in a coma or something and none of them knew why. So I thought I'd stop by to see if there was any fun changes in you. But you look the same as ever. You're so boring. Why couldn't you be drowning in your woes and booze or whining about not wanting to work anymore or something? I mean, since MASH apparently means to get rest in the infirmary, which I guess does make sense, you know, you can stay here with me. We can, you know, you deserve some quality time, you know? You're the newest member of the, waifu ranking, so, you know, and you've proven yourself pretty well recently, so I think Kama deserves some, TLC. All I wanted was a golden opportunity to drag in depravity, and you couldn't even give me that. What? What is it? Speaking of work, you shouldn't push yourself so hard, or that reminds me, don't work too hard without checking in on us. You shouldn't push yourself too hard, Kama. Why are you scolding me like when I didn't even do anything? Did you forget that I've been boycotting my entire God of Love gig this whole time? You really don't need to tell me not to work too hard. Way ahead of you. There. So don't get the wrong idea, okay? I'm only here because, well, it just worked out that way. I'm glad you're here, Kama. Are you still half asleep or something? Why would you be glad to see the Demon King of Depravity? Maybe you really did experience some kind of degenerative, self-destructive change, the kind just begging to be corrupted. You know, Kama, what if we're already kind of depraved? You know, what do you say then? You can't really drag somebody who is already depraved into depravity, so... But for now, why don't you just treat yourself a bit? Go on back to sleep if you're still drowsy. You've convinced me. Good night, Kama. I have distinct memories of cuddling up against you, so come on, into the bed. Let's cuddle. You know, we canonically stood up there, and now we just fell asleep while standing. That's not unusual for us, but, still. It could be that the alter egos wanted to materialize. That these other personalities still exist despite being ignored and repressed, and want nothing more than to come to the forefront. Maybe the very expression of that desire is what makes alter egos what they are. Which would mean that the alter ego who longs for love, no matter how minute, is still somewhere inside the servant that created her. Idiot. I think... So is this implying Kama remembers? Well, that was certainly embarrassing. Now that I've analyzed Ronnie the 12th and determined how she came about, so Sion does remember! It's clear that this incident was one of the Ordeal Calls that man told us about. Still, quite surprising to see so much distortion built up on the Paper Moon of all places. It may not have risen to the level of the 7 taboos, but if I had been a little more diligent, maybe we would have discovered this distortion before it became a problem. As I am meant to be the Paper Moon's caretaker, this has been a humbling experience. The only positive is that, despite being taken by surprise, we were still able to resolve the situation. Everything else simply demonstrates how much room we have for improvement. And thanks to my frequent use of memory partition, I can recall my whole experience clearly. Memory partition. So, memory partition is... I don't think it's an actual technique, but it's essentially just, you know... It's kind of like storing specific memories in computer files, and then loading and unloading them as you see fit. Or I guess programs would be the better thing. People. So, memory partition likely refers to individuals organize and structure their memories during recall rather than a literal division. So, it is essentially just dividing their memory into different spots. It's not necessarily parallel processing, which is just like thinking of multiple things at the same time. It is more just, you know, having multiple streams of thought that can be retrieved at specific times that possess specific memories. It's essentially just different files in the computer that is our brain that we can load up at any time and can save multiple points into tool. My tongue is getting tied. In fact, I wonder if I'm the only one who does. Kama is also accustomed to existing as multiple versions of herself. I'd not be surprised if she remembers too, but I think I'll be merciful and not bring it up. That is another good one. As for Miss Alaron and Soul, I would expect their memories are subconscious at best. Still, an opportunity like this doesn't come along every day, so I may as well go over it as a thought experiment. We were brought into the Paper Moon's world during the first spin of the alter ego generating centrifuge. It is therefore extremely likely that Soul was an alter ego too. Were we, though? But what kind of alter ego was he? His poor condition when he first entered that world might be a hint. He was in bad enough shape that he could barely fight without help from my ether light. So, he was suboptimal physical condition for reasons unknown. Excuse me. And there was a discrepancy between his mind and body. Put this together, and now I see. The thing is, though, is we got better. Because it was very much to the point that by the end there, Sion took her ether light out of us to inject it into Ronnie the 12th, leaving us to operate on our own. And on our own, we used a frickin' noble phantasm turned mystic code to summon Cerberus at least half a dozen times when we were warned that once would be too much for us. So us being, weak was a temporary thing at best. Hypothesis 1. He was an alter ego who was fed up with fighting. Denied. We were eager for fights there. Yes, I like that idea. In fact, I certainly hope he has such a side to him somewhere. Are we pacifistic in any which way, shape, or form? Maybe? I'm sure at this point we would like for the fighting to be done. Ideally, no human should ever want to fight more than is necessary. If he lacks that trait, then he'll never be able to go back to a normal life once the fighting is over. Again, Sion, I don't think normalcy is ever going to happen for us. Let's try the opposite approach. If a given person was excited about fighting a battle for the fate of the world, and was neither hesitant nor concerned about it, if that person doesn't have the slightest trace of a personality, that would push them to avoid fighting where necessary. That person would be a berserker in human form. Something about them would have to be broken. Such a person would never be able to return to a normal life after fighting ended. They would continue to seek bloodshed wherever they went. Okay, I get what she's saying now for a person that wants to instigate fighting. But fortunately, Soul's also demonstrated that strong likelihood that he will not go down that path. That is good. That's how he should be. Well, when he used Medusa's virtual noble phantasm mystico to fight back himself, I did also see he was completely unafraid to stand on the front line, but that one doesn't cancel out the other. There are times in many people's lives when they end up loving someone despite trying to avoid it, and when they fight in hope of not having to fight again. Of course, if he is willing to fight despite being sick of fighting as long as he has sufficient reason, that is a worrying possibility unto itself. If he's willing to fight despite being sick as long as Yeah, I think that describes us to a T. We are willing to fight, even though we're sick of the fighting, but as long as there is a reason to fight, we will. But there is probably nothing we can do except encourage him to continue seeing a therapist. I'm good. I don't need a therapist. I have waifus. Another possibility, made perhaps with the benefit of hindsight, is that he didn't win the Holy Grail War. Using that as a hint, maybe it was a version of him which was not the last master of humankind and was not responsible for the world's fate. No, we kind of took that responsibility upon ourselves. We wanted to save all the AIs and stop the suffering. Maybe that version of him was just an ordinary master. An alter ego who was just looking to take it easy for once. That one seems unlikely. Of course, ultimately, this is all just conjecture. It could simply be that he was pulled into that world because he was a master with command spells. And that he was the one exception that was never made into an alter ego at all. In that case, his poor physical condition could be chalked up to simply reconstruction error during the import process. I think I would give that one about a 50-50 odds. I think that's the most likely one, honestly. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Anyway, I think that's enough considering what happened to Soul for the time being. That's a very deadpan expression. Right now, I need to reflect on my own mistakes. Like the fact that I took advantage of my childhood appearance. To use that thread I threw away because it was simply too unethical to rely on. So, the ether light... I'm guessing the ether light is the... Is she talking literally thread? As in the ether light that she threw away because it was unethical? And she leaned on the fact that she looked like a kid? Talk about a black mark. Anyway, I suppose I failed to realize I still had these feelings. Even though I had long since come to the conclusion that I shouldn't be their friend. It seems there's still a childish part of me who wants to, regardless. Again, Sion, you are still in the running for waifus. Until you die. And do not come back as a servant, you are still in the running for waifus. Unless it's revealed you have a husband or wife, I guess. So, yeah. As long as none of those conditions are fulfilled, then you are still in the running. That simply will not do. I'd better exercise this memory permanently. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Is being friends with us really that bad? Despite myself, I decided to play back just one part of it. Although this version of myself standing here never forgot what I decided my place should be, now that I've adventured through a world where I was able to forget about that place, if briefly, I thought I should reaffirm the feelings that led me to the original decision. I hope she does not actually delete her memory of that, because that was a good bonding experience, Sion. That was a good bonding experience. I'm gonna check this just in case it does not come back, because I don't know what's gonna happen. Is there gonna be free quests in Ordeal Call 1, or what? I don't know. This little thing might disappear, though. So that's why I'm checking all this. See if there's anything. I imagine it's gonna be on Sion and Cerejera. Yep, Sion vowed never to be friends. Does not mean she does not want such a thing. Desire was present. Pushed back to back mind. Her childish feelings have taken center stage. Okay. So, why did she vow, though? Why did she vow to never be a friend of ours? That's what I want to know. Cerejera. Okay, here's some more stuff. Personality comes from Chaldea's staff. Unknowingly, one of the causes of Chaldea's collapse. Alter ego of atonement. Part of me is cringe. Time to delete. The cringe is what makes us who we are. The cringe makes us who we are. Cafeteria. Is Bima here? Just random Bima? Zufu! The only alter ego that is not a high servant. Yeah, I know. I remember her saying something about how she needs to not be a part of us in order to do something in the future. Which is... that's kind of a cop-out explanation. I guess I'll wait to see what that something is. But that just does mean that when that something is done, she can be our friend in the end. Munch, 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 munch. Not often I see you reading, Zuzu. What, you got a problem with that? It's some kind of essay that just popped up in the database one day. It was a good test subject for my emergency excitation response system. But once I used that to materialize it, I didn't have anything better to do than, well, read it. What's it about? It's a treatise on the alter egos, how they're formed, the implications of their existence, that kind of thing. Are we gonna get a non-bad AI description of alter egos now? I'm more inclined to believe what Zuzu here says about alter ego, since she is, again, the only alter ego that is not a high servant that we know of. We have to be quick to make use of this class of servants despite not understanding their greater significance or true nature. We've been quick, and perhaps it is time we take a moment to reconsider that choice. I believe doing so will lead us to a greater understanding of alter egos in general, and also help us learn how to make even more effective use of their power. I know, right? It takes itself real seriously. No, it goes on to say this too. Alter egos generally appear of their own accord. True for the most part. They can be created. So be warned that unless you're using yourself as material and you already possess incredibly OP skill. BB. This was written by BB. Just that sentence there tells me that BB wrote this. Oh boy. Intentionally making a new one would be both difficult and ill-advised. Well, duh. Hell, even speaking for myself, I have no idea why this version of me is an alter ego. You don't regret being one, right? Of course not. I might not know why I came out like this, but I know exactly why I am this way. Obviously, it's because of my deep, abiding love for... Lady You. That's the part of this essay I agreed with the most. It says that even though alter egos are derived from fragments of the original's personality, the nature of their existence also makes it possible for them to do things the originals couldn't. In my case, if I was still my old self with all my extraneous ties and obligations, I wouldn't be able to live the dream of devoting everything to Lady You. Maybe you're right. No, Zuzu is chill. I'm not gonna scold Zuzu. I kinda get the feeling someone once said they're hollow creations with nothing of substance. But even if that's true, I don't think that's all there is to them. Even if the alter egos think of themselves as no more than walking dolls, burning them very selves for fuel, and that they wouldn't be able to do anything if they weren't made for emotions, there's no denying their purity. And there must surely be places reachable only by beings as pure as them. Since I'm one of the keenest intellectuals around here, and one of the alter egos in question, I think I'll add my own thoughts on the subject. I'm pretty sure regular people are just as capable of doing the same things as alter egos filled with a singular focus. For example, let's say you accomplish a great feat and go down in history. Maybe the you who accomplished that wasn't the normal you, but a you who only lived to love someone else. I'm very much leaning towards BB. I am getting where Zuzu is coming from here. I do understand this line of thought. Because, I mean, the you that puts your all into doing a singular thing is different than the normal you. Maybe it was a you who just wanted to protect a certain someone, even if it cost you your life. Yeah, I mean, that's another point. A version of you who gives up their life to save someone they love is different from the everyday version of you. Because humans are very complex beings. We have different aspects to ourselves. Or maybe it was a you who only cared about killing someone. My point is, maybe us alter egos are just a series of the countless moment-to-moment heroic forms everyone has within them. Or something like that. I'm rolling that thought process over in my mind. So, alter egos, as heroic spirits, are a series of countless moment-to-moment forms everyone has within them. No, Super Bunyan's a high servant. She's like an amalgamation of Paul Bunyan and whatever that alligator thing is. Give me a moment here. I know Bunyan is like a composite / high servant. Super Bunyan. Yeah, she fused with several heroic spirits, including learning with manga writer, assassin, Mike Fink, who was actually Nana Bozoho, which is a spirit in Ani Shinabe Adizukan mythology. So yeah, Nana Bozoho is the divine part of Bunyan, and she's a composite of that and a bunch of others, as well as herself. Mike Fink was the false. But more to the point, Okita Alter is Okita and Rengoku, and we don't really know what Rengoku is. Rengoku is a separate entity, though. But if I search Rengoku, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to get Demon Slayer. Yeah. Rengoku literally gives Demon Slayer as its primary stuff. Hang on, I'm checking. So, Rengoku is the sword. The name Purgatory. So, Rengoku might just be the embodiment of Purgatory, which is interesting. The Mecha Ellie-chans. That's Ellie shenanigans, okay? Are we really gonna try and make sense of what the Eliza particles do there, Janice? When it comes to anything Ellie, she is like an exception to the rule. You know, Mecha Ellie-chan is an exception to the rule, I think. Anything with Elizabeth is an exception. Plain and simple. But, so, alter egos being a series of the countless moment-to-moment heroic forms everyone has within them. Welcome back, J6. Welcome back. We're just extrapolating upon this new idea of alter egos. An alter ego as just a series of the countless moment-to-moment heroic forms everyone has within them. Yes, Zufu is the only non-high servant that is an alter ego. If they introduce more alter egos, I mean, I can see how they could introduce more alter egos in the future. You know, just essentially take a person that accomplished one great thing and build their servant form around that singular great thing, but have their personality be something that is purely driven for said great thing. Zufu is an alter ego because she is a snapshot of all of her devotion to Lady Yu, which is sort of in charge as far as the full personality of Zufu. Again, as I told Janice J6, it's Eliza particles. There's no making sense of that. Eliza particles can do anything. You know? So, anything with Ellie-chan, just don't think too hard about it. But, you know? If we take alter ego as a series of momentous aspects, then Grigori, Rasputin, Kiri is a snapshot of maliciousness if your line of thinking is correct. True. Very true. Except he's also a high servant as well. He has, like, a companion of Angry Mango as one of his composite beings or something. But I think this line of thinking of alter egos is one I can mesh with. Taisui is a compilation of cons mixed with a bit of Melt, Morgan, Wu Zetian, and Ereshkigal. Lam Lam is probably the biggest point, since, you know, Taisui specifically has the ribbon and is kind of the son of Lambda, so, you know. But I think I like this explanation for alter egos. It leans away from the high servant point, but it is not as nonsensical as what Ronnie was trying to say. There is similarities to what Ronnie was trying to say, but this describes it better. This is a far simpler explanation, and sometimes simpler is better. Because it's just something that everybody has the potential within them to be, but not every individual portion of them is an alter ego. It's just, you know, that single driving force behind them is the thing that shapes who the alter ego servant is. And they still have everything else to fall back on. Yeah, I understand what you're going for, Zuzu. I understand. Which is it? Oh well, it's no big deal. Like I said, I was just reading this because I didn't have anything better to do. I would honestly love this dissertation. Please tell me I can find this dissertation somewhere. Because I would love to read it. It is, yes, it is the better explanation. Let me see if I can't get far enough back. So, Zufu found a book that, a treaty on alter egos that is probably written by BB because of this specific line. Let's see, where is the line? Here, where is the line? So be warned that unless you're using yourself as material and you do not possess incredibly OP skill, and potentially making a new one would be both difficult and ill-advised. That is just straight up BB. Some old-timey jazz chosen by who knows who echoed quietly through the cafeteria. The musician was singing a heartfelt song about how, as long as he believed in them, even artificial creations and paper moons can become as real as anything else. It got me thinking, maybe in the same way sabers fight with swords, and lancers fight with spears, alter egos fight with the strength that comes from devotion to something besides themselves. I like that thought process. And that is our own internal monologue as well, which is awesome! Complex breakthrough. I have many complexes. Which one was broken through? Which one of my complexes was broken through? I want to know, which complex of mine? Torch of the Polar Star. Holy Grail. Okay, we did indeed. We got a new present. The Foundation of Humanity Compass is now a D. We are still failing. What's that? Hang on, what? Oh, that's Ordeal Call 2. In Japan. I can't zoom in. Is that Fuyuki? Is that Fuyuki area? Are we finally going back to Fuyuki? That'd be awesome if we finally get to go back to Fuyuki. As for rolling, I'll be answering that here shortly. I want to check here. What are the quests looking like in here? So just the 10. Okay. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Fuyuki has been shown to be on a map. So it does not look like there is any, there's probably not any skin quests. That's interesting to see. Because the last two major story chapters have had extra missions to gain some skins. Do you want to know when Ordeal 2 coming out? No, I want it to be a surprise. Probably going to break out OBS. Oh, you're going to stream it too, J6. Nice. Cool. Sadly, because it is Thursday, I can't go for super long Night Rain session, just because I do have class. And while I could just, you know, join the Zoom call and not say anything and just get the participation points, that feels kind of lame. You know? I feel like I would miss out on stuff. But, so that was Ordeal Call 1 done. You know, all of my complaints aside, it was a pretty good story chapter. There was weak points, for sure, mainly when they tried to explain the whole alter ego stance, as well as definitely the amnesia point. I hate when they try to do the amnesia plot point, even though they've only done it, what, once before, technically speaking? And that was with Seraph. I hate the amnesia plot point. I hate it in any kind of fiction, to be honest. 1 or 2 hours, so you don't know if you're going to refund. That's fair, J6, that is fair. But overall, it was not bad. It's currently number 1 as far as all the Ordeal Calls go. But in the greater scheme of stories rankings, where would I place it in the greater scheme? Number 1 is probably Avalon LaFay. Number 2, I would have to say, is Babylonia. Number 3 is probably Camelot. Then Nahui Mictlan, Olympus / Atlantis. I'm only going to rank the stuff that I've streamed. I'm not going to lump the Epics of Remnant in with this as well. Because Salem would be decently high up there. And I do consider CCC Seraph to be an Epic of Remnant as well. Where would I put this, though? It's definitely below... I'd say maybe around the same level of Camelot, perhaps? So it's not bad, but again, there are points of the story where it could be better. It's gotta see Musashi-san, you love her. Fair enough, J6, fair enough. I would say, like, around Camelot rankings. So it's not quite at the top. I'd say it's more towards the mid. You gave it 7 out of 10. It's a good story, so some problems. Themes we're going for, ranking this as a standalone, no compared to other stories. I would agree with a 7 out of 10. I would definitely agree with the 7 out of 10 assessment for Ordeal Call 1. And you know, outside of, let's be honest here, outside of Lost Belt 1, which was an excellent first point, it is probably, like, LB1 is the best start to any arc. Hands down. Because it gives us some pretty darn good stakes. And there was also, you know, the heartbreaking thing with Patsy towards the end. That was really heartbreaking. how he told us to fight for our world if it was one worth living in, essentially. And who, of course, can forget the fact that that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is now completely ruined for me because of the emotional last scene with Saleri. I wouldn't count Fuyuki as the start to Singularities. Fuyuki was the start to the story of FGO on a whole. The first Singularity was Orleans, I think? It was the French Singularity, and again, that was played years ago. So, I do not remember much of the story. I remember Jalter was the big bad. I remember some of the servants that were in Orleans. But I could not tell you what, like, outside of Stop Jalter, Jalter is the Dragon Witch. I cannot tell you much beyond that. It did engross me enough to keep playing it. I'm pretty sure it was around Okeanos, the Ocean Singularity, when I did drop it, just for multiple reasons. But, yeah. So overall, 7 out of 10, I think, is a good ranking for OC1. Let me claim my stuff in here. Not much. It's only a paper moon, so we have our CE for all this. So let's see what the CE is all about. Who does it feature? Features Kama, Sion, and us. You can just barely see our hand there, close to holding both of theirs. If you weren't bored, you would have dropped it back in Orleans. Yeah, like I said, it was the fact that I didn't get Gil early on that kind of was one of the driving factors that made me to quit FGO for about a year's time. And if it wasn't for Shotgun Shogun, I never would have gotten back into FGO. So, I have him to thank, even though he gave up on FGO a long time ago. I know I need to do that. I'll probably do that sometime soon. So, It's Only a Paper Moon is a quick end arcs 10% boost. That's not bad. Redrop drew this. That makes sense. Redrop is a big Kama fan. I'm glad to have adventured with you. It was a pleasant dream. That time was a miracle for me, who should have not existed in the first place. That's right. If I had to choose something important to me, this moment would eclipse all others. Ah, this warmth and sensation. I've always wanted this. This is a painting of a dreamscape. It shows an image of a world where individuals who were split apart managed to carry out the purpose that was born deep within their hearts, rather than acting in accordance with someone else's idea and written as code. You can imagine, as you nap, the gentle melodic sighs coming from the girl's quiet breathing. So, whose perspective is this from? I imagine maybe Sion's? I mean, it's obviously either Sion or Kama. I'm leaning more towards Kama, though, because time was a miracle for me, who should have not existed in the first place. Because, I mean, it was very evident that if it weren't for BB, Kama would not have been a part of this Ordeal Call. So, and she does, again, Kama was an alter ego in there that longed for our affection. So she deep down longs for actual affection, connection with someone. So I can see this definitely being from her point of view. And let's be honest, Kama is kind of more centered in this CE compared to Sion. And her hand is almost touching the Master's. So I'm inclined to believe this is Kama. Alright. So, I still have this to do on stream at some point, but I'll do that whenever I do the next FGO stream, it's probably going to be a chill interlude stream, unless they drop the Medusa event next Monday, at least. But, let's... What am I missing from the shop here? I don't know who that is off the top of my head, J6. Oh, it's just this that has... Okay. A name of a song by an artist. You like Bluebeard and Makiri and Paper Moon, not because they're great characters, they're both pretty well chaotic evil villain. True point, Makiri and Bluebeard were definitely good chaotic evil villains. And... So that's the name... So that CE is the name of a song. I'm curious now. Go to formation. It's only a Paper Moon. Huh. It is in fact a song. I'm gonna listen to it on my own time, just because it's probably copyright. But, okay. I still want to see... I still want to think that is from Kama's point of view. Anyways. I have decided, in the end, of all of the, hubbub of Ordeal Call 1. Now, I do have to remember that Medusa is presumably within a month's time, as is the Anniversary Servant, followed shortly after by the Summer Servants. So I cannot go super hard on any roles that I want to do. As far as the servants that are new that debuted in Ordeal Call 1, Durga did not appear until the very end of things. And in actuality, we did not get to see enough of Durga for me to make any judgment call on what she's like as a character. I don't even know what skills she has, only that she has an AoE NP. And as for that reason, I will not be rolling for Durga. Kama, I've already got Kama. And, you know, I could always do with more Kama. I really could always do with some more Kama. But this is for new servant role potential more than old servant role potential. And Kama is going to spook me, let's be honest here. Plus, there's probably going to be more banners for Kama than there is for Bima. And again, if I was dedicated rolling until if I could roll until I got a servant, I would be rolling on the Kama banner. But for now, as far as Bima goes here, I'm going to put in 10 tickets and at most 2 11 spins to see if he comes to my Chaldea. So I'm going to start off with an 11 spin here, and I'm going to let it slow roll, and we will see what happens. So, 10 tickets, or 10 tickets. 11 summons from 30 quartz. Let's roll. And if Duryodhana Hana shows up as well, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. Duryodhana Hana, he's a bit of an arrogant twat, but he's cool enough. I think I'd be fine if he showed up. If I get them both, he'll raise their servant ranks. Fair. Mandarkar, bro! So we're at 2. 3. Room Guard for Jinako. You know, I do also have to remember to keep quartz in the emergency reserves in case of a foreigner drop. Tofu. Ooh. The Mappo Tofu combined with the Priest being on an earlier spin kind of makes me think I'm not going to be seeing anybody. Soul Eater. But yeah, if there's any foreigners I do have to keep in mind, I will be needing to roll for them. Unwithering Flower. Another CE. Inverted Moon of the Heavens. Another CE, this is a higher one. Guardians of the Garden. I made a vow a long time ago that I am going to be going for every single foreigner servant in my Chaldea. Gold. Zerker, I think this is. Duryodhana has come to my Chaldea. Okay. Assassin. Zhongqi. Ooh, that was a good cracks of the neck. Another servant. No. If there is a foreigner that comes, I want to be surprised by them, and then enter panic mode as I have to find out how much quartz I need to roll for them. My name is Duryodhana. I'm the son of the eldest of 100 sons. That means I'm the legitimate king of the Kuru Kingdom. Why am I berserker? I'm the best, strongest soldier, so shouldn't I be a saber? His voice is a lot deeper than I expected. He has a lot deeper voice than I expected him to have. What are his passives? He has E-. Why is he a berserker? E- Madness enhancement. E-. Come on. Developers, like, come on, man. Alright, ticket time. These tickets I will click through if they are not servants. If they do give me servant lines, I will not. But otherwise, we click to skip, because I do not want to be here all night. Although I don't think I'm going to be here all night, because, we are approaching 2 hours. I did go off tangent a couple times there during the, wrap portion, though, so... Still, this was a very well-paced stream, I do believe, if I do say so myself. Very well-paced indeed. But, yeah, so... After this Wednesday's stream, I think... Hello, Elegander. Oh, that's not my first one. I thought that was my first. I think Wednesday's stream, I'm probably going to do FSN. We are getting Medusa before Annie. Yay! But, I think FSN is going to be on Wednesday. As far as Pokemon goes, there might be a little bit of a gap before I start putting it out there again. Just because I think I need to, I'm trying to think here. What do I need to do? Hi, Tomoe. I need to get BBQ points built up. I need to build up my BBQ points before I do anything else with Pokemon. So, yeah. I think that's my decision. Pokemon is gonna be a little bit on pause until I have BBQ points enough to, purchase everything in the club room, as well as all of the special visitors to come as well to Blueberry Academy. I think that's going to be where until I get all that built up, is going to be the thing. Because Night Rain, honestly, I kind of want, like, Night Rain is a more hype thing than Pokemon, because, again, at this point, We are literally just trying to clean up the decks and get the remaining mons. And even then, I might do most of the base game Pokemon on my own time. Because seeing me wander around in Paldea is probably not the most exciting. I'll probably save the legendary hunts for on-stream if I can do that. I might need to look up where the legendaries I have spawned to really make any decision. Hey, Deontay, welcome to the stream. How'll be things. Sort of towards the end, but yes, I have decided I am skipping Durga, and this is my last 11 spin for Bima. If he comes home, awesome. If he does not, then, oh well. I am pretty sure this is NP2 Duryodhana. And I am correct. But yeah, Durga, again, I'm gonna be considerate and roll only for, like, if I like the servant. And I know too little about how Durga is as a servant and how she plays from a gameplay perspective to make any judgment calls. She's an AoE berserker, or she's an AoE archer of unknowing, type. I don't know if she's arts, buster, or quick. And I kind of got Gil. Gil is kind of busted as far as AoE archers goes. So I made the decision I do not need to roll for Durga. Especially since I need to save for Saberdusa, Anniversary, and most of Summer. She's a Summer Jean equivalent. I mean, yeah, that maybe she'll be on my Destiny Summon rolls, because as far as archers goes from the Destiny Summons, there is just Moriarty and now Durga, so she might take that spot. I don't know. I have yet to decide. That is coming up soon, though, so I probably should decide soon. What about Perrin's Indigo Quest? That's going to be something I do on stream, J6. I will be doing Perrin's Quest on stream. You know, I'm going to go down to 300. 300 quartz is going to be what I'm going down to try and get Bima. I may or may not have Gacha Addict Syndrome. May or may not have the Gacha Addict Syndrome. Well, we've been talking about the Gacha, and you know, when you talk about the Gacha, it makes you want to roll on the Gacha. I thought this was going to be somebody new because there was a pause before it appeared, but sad, but not so. I'm very impulsive, Janice. I am very impulsive when it comes to rolls. Ptolemaeus? Teller Knight Ptolemaeus? Rank 4 XZ's monster? I know it's not that, but events I am fine with. I've said it before, events I am fine with. I'm a little bit miffed by whoever said that Saber Medusa was an event-based servant. So if this Ptolemy does not have any story appearances, then I'm fine with, like, you know, knowing their class. Unless they're a foreigner. I do not want to know foreigners because I want to be surprised when the foreigner randomly appears and then makes me panic because it's, oh shoot, I promised I was going to get every single foreigner in the game, and now there's a foreigner here, and I'm down to like 4 quartz. I want that panic. Is it healthy to want that panic? Probably not, but, you know, I want that panic. Oh, Lancer. Bima! With no ceremony, Bima appears in my Chaldea. That only took 3 11 spins for him to show. 3 11 spins and 10 tickets, but still, not bad. Not bad at all. Just get an MLB Sakura Bento to summon Medusa. I mean, I could just have a bunch of Sakura servants on hand like, in a singular party to be a Medusa Catalyst, I think. I think that would work just as well. Also, I've not been keeping track of how many summon things I've done, so, I don't know how many I've got left in this spin. But with this, I think I will throw a single 11 spin on the Durga banner, since I did say I was going down to 300. Hey, it's Bhima. Nice to meet you. Well, guess I'd better be formal at least the first time. My brothers might be watching, too. I'm Bhima, one of the 5 Pandava princes and the son of the Wind God. I have come to be your strength. Nice to meet you. Now that that's out of the way, want to eat something? Emiya's no longer alone in the kitchen, as far as dudes goes. Okay. And we kind of know pretty much everything about Bhima already. He's a pretty cool dude. Pretty cool. You have paychecks ready for all units. I don't have that, sadly. Sadly, I do not have the paychecks. I think I have an Amazon gift card somewhere that maybe I could do stuff with. Maybe. But, I mean a proper chef. This is MP3 Duryodhana, by the way. Completely different banner, yet Duryodhana decides to show up. I guess he really wants to be strong in my Chaldea, doesn't he? He really wants that strong. Muramasa isn't in the kitchen. He's in the forge. You know, I don't think Muramasa has the cooking aspect of Shiro Emiya. And if there's anything been proven by playing through the FSN visual novel, is that all the memes about Shiro being an obsessive cook were lies. I was lied to for years. Shiro Emiya is not the next coming of Gordon Ramsay or anything. So much lies. He ate food the whole fam ate during Shimosa. I don't really remember Shimosa too much, except for the fact that Shuten Doji literally rearranged our guts with her hand. So, yeah. That's kind of all I remember of Shimosa, to be fair. It's not looking like we're getting Durga. I have no idea how many rolls have been spent on, or how many times the colors have spun. I mean, I know the colors spinning is 0, because not a single gold nor rainbow spin during all this. Mother-son bonding of beating Doman. I have vague recollections. Kiyohime was like a princess or something, I want to say? Kiyohime was like a princess or something, right? I think so. Also, it's occurred to me, I've not seen a single one of the new CEs. And the second I just said Kiyohime's name, she appears. I mean, she is a stalker, so that's not terribly surprising, but still. Kyo, that was kind of weird to just show up as soon as I said your name. Well, no Durga for me, and none of the new CEs either. I kind of wanted the CEs. 2, 3, no, that's only 29. Dang, I don't have enough fragments to get another 24 quartz. Do I? 2, carry the 1, or carry the 2 is 3. Yeah, it's only 23 quartz I would get from fragments. Tarnation. Well, that's unfortunate, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. based on the fact that this banner is going to be lasting until the 15th of June, I'm guessing that's going to be around when the Saber Medusa event ends up dropping. And that's going to be when we're rolling next. But, yeah, that's kind of a good cutoff point for today's stream, really. We finished Ordeal Call 1. We had our exposition dump on it. We did some rolling around and got us another Tomoe for NP4 Tomoe. We got Bima, and we got NP3 Duryodhana. So, you know, not bad things all considered. Not bad all things considered. I did also, I saw, unlock the class score for Alter Ego. Yep, I was literally just about to mention that. The Alter Ego class score has been unlocked. And given that one of the waifus is, one of my strongest servants is an Alter Ego, I think it only makes sense to jump in. Interesting. This is more of a tangled web than any of the other ones. Thank you very much. I see Pretender, Beast. Is that supposed to be Foreigner there? Is that supposed to be Foreigner on the left? I can't tell. What do we got? Buster, crit strength. Arts crit strength. Arts crit strength is better. Leads to quick crit. More arts card strength, so that's not bad. Attack by 1 turn, defense by 1 turn when a command seal is used. Quick card. I do need to be careful with regards to the mats I'm using, because you have completed the mission requirements for a tour log. You can unlock it by expending the appropriate torch. Okay. I can do this one. The yarns is going to be a bit rough, but I've got 400 still. It is Foreigner. Okay, and this will affect the others. Okay, that's pretty cool. And this unlocks this tour lock. Okay. I kind of want to get the inner ring done primarily, so let's go back over here. This is crit star drop rate. That's pretty good. I like it when they call for the pieces. Our command spells are going to just be broken whenever I use one on Melt. Quick strength. So these are all pretty basic things. Fair, as expected. Okay, I can see what some of these are. What are some of these late game ones? NP strength. Ooh. That's not bad at all. So the likes of NP strength. Just 10% boosts. I did see that. I am jealous. I do need to visit more cons myself. Okay, so it's currently looking like there are 4 on every inner ring of these. There's about 4 of these on every inner ring, and they look to unlock an additional 5 things. So 4 on every inner ring, and then 3, 8, 9 on the outer, so 13 total. Or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 10 total. What am I saying? So there's what? 10 total stars in the Alter Ego. I'm going to check this, though. I did start Lancer. 4, 3... So yes, each one requires 10 of the... Oh no. So these require... So each one will require 4 to unlock the full inner circle, and then more of the others for outer. Shielder is either going to be its own separate thing, or it's going to be over here. I don't know how I'm supposed to get more of these torches, but I think I can invest in unlocking all of these tour locks. Yes, investing in all of these tour locks is fine, I think. I can justify this. I really do understand alter egos. Okay, I do have one challenge quest still available to me as well. But that's going to be something for after, like, next Monday's stream. Towards the end of it, I will probably do that. Getting the extra attacks boosted is really nice. Excuse me. I probably shouldn't have done that one. That was 56 of the ceremonial bronze swords. That one might have been a mistake. I don't know if I'm going to need the bronze swords for anybody, but, Oh, I am out of Stardust. I am out of Stardust now. Okay. That's fine. I mean, I've almost got the full inner ring done for the extra one. Nice. Very nice. But, yeah, I think with that, it is a good time to call today's stream here. Just use Stardust from Pokemon Go. If only, J6. If only. So on Wednesday's stream, we will be resuming Unlimited Blade Works, because on Thursday's stream, it's going to be Elden Ring Night Rain, where I am probably going to be doing a couple of runs with J6 here. Probably we'll work on those details a little bit on our own time. Maybe end up being in VC together, possibly. I don't know. And then next Monday, we'll be back with more FGO, where it's going to be some nice and relaxing interludes being done, because I have a lot of interludes and rank-up quests to do. A lot of rank-up quests to do. But that's for the future. For now, I've been SolarActor, and I hope you've all enjoyed, especially YouTube. You got to see a little bit more than just the story segment today. You got to see a bunch of extra stuff as well. If you did enjoy, be sure to drop a subscription if you are watching this on YouTube, or follow me if you're watching this on Twitch. They're essentially the same things. One of them, you get to watch the video later, and the other, you get to watch the video when I record it. Drop a like for me if you want to show some support. Comment if you want to give any sort of feedback, and check out the Discord. It should be down below as well. I am slowly working on it. Getting a Discord bot to repost FGO tweets is kind of hard. It's complicated stuff, and there's stuff for, like, making your own Discord bot that I've found, and I might have to do that. But that's for future me to worry about. Once again, thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic evening, everybody.